Hey everyone, this is NHL Hockey News Sports, and I'm back with a video. Today we're having a season preview of the Detroit Red Wings, what those seasons going to look like, the new arrivals, some of the young players, and playoffs. I know a lot of people think they make the playoffs, but we're going to talk about that too. So we'll go from left to right. So starting off with the new arrivals, we have a good amount. We have a list here, don't we, of what the Red Wings have added to their team, and they have definitely tried to add this offseason to get even better than they did last year. Last year they were like just like the team below the wild card spot for a good amount of the season. But they were like 10 points away from a wild card spot. But they were like right there between them and the Blue Jackets and the Islanders. But they fell off at the end there a little. And now they have a new coach, Derek Lalonde, which was the assistant coach for the Tampa Bay Lightning for John Cooper, which is a great pickup. And, if you can get these young players moving, and you have also these veteran players who are coming in and going to make an impact, that will also be nice to see for sure. So, let's go into the new arrivals here. Like I said, it's a list. Starting off, the first one is a winger, or it could be a center too, if you want to play him at center, but he's a winger for sure. Andrew Copp. Andrew Copp, who was also, through his whole career, has basically been with the Winnipeg Jets. Got traded at the deadline to the Rangers. Really impactful in the playoffs. Really incredible for him. Get to the Final Four with the Rangers. He did slow down in the Final Four, but Andrei Vasilevskiy was a beast in that series, and you could not beat Andrei Vasilevskiy. People are saying Copp didn't play good enough, but he was trying to create chances. He really was. But Copp will be good. I believe he's from Michigan, so he's going back home. It's nice to see that for him, and adds to the team in the top six. Really adds even more goal scoring and a better top six for sure. Moving on to David Perron, who actually, he's about 34 years old, but still getting a good amount of points. Could he this year show some age? He could, but he does, he could be very good with the Detroit Red Wings for sure. He's another one that could be really good. We'll see what happens. I like those pickups for the Red Wings. Very nice to see. Just look at the contract. What do we got here? How long? 5 years for Copp. 5.25. 5.625, my bad. And then for Perron, he is signed for a 2-year, 4.75. It's very reasonable for sure. I'll tell you how many points he had this season. 57. 67 games. 973 games he has played. He's going to get to the 1,000 mark this year, so he's going to get the stick for the 1,000 games. Look at that. And he is 34. He always has signed with the Blues, always re-signed with the Blues. He's been with the other teams, but always came back to the Blues. Always came back. This is the first time he signed a different team. For his first time, so interesting, for sure. And yeah, Ben Chiarot, who played the best of his career in Montreal. Of course, a former Jet. Montreal had him for a good amount of his career. Then they traded him to Florida for a first-round pick and Ty Slonimik, if I say that right. And then you have a fourth-round pick, something like that. It was a great return for Montreal to get. But Chiarot was on with the Panthers for a little of the season there. And then now he has signed a deal with the Detroit Red Wings. Good pickup for the Detroit Red Wings. Just a good, solid defenseman. He is 31 now. But, I like that pickup, 4 years at 4.75. Okay. Makes a little bit more of a raise. Got 30 points this year. That's the most he's ever gotten. But Ben Chiarot was one of the best Montreal Canadiens last year. On a poor team. A really poor team. But Ben Chiarot is tough. Great in the playoffs, excellent in the top four for that. He can really help in the playoffs. Really, really good for him. I do like Ben Chiarot for that. And then you have Odi Mata, who won a couple of cups with the Penguins, but the last couple of years between the Hawks and the Kings hasn't get much, less than 10 points, which isn't good enough, but maybe he'll get some here. Odi Mata has experience. Another guy like Chiarot who has experience. So does Odi Mata. Odi Mata is 28. He's still in his prime, $2.25 million. He has a contract for 1 year. So that can't be bad. Okay? It's not. Going on to Billy Huso, they actually traded for his rights. They only gave up like a 4th-round pick or something like that. Let's see, a 3rd-round pick actually, a little bit more on the expensive side. But a 3rd-round pick to get his rights, to talk to him exclusively before other teams start jumping in on him, like the Devils and other teams, like the Oilers, trying to jump on him. They were able to sign him, get him to a deal. Billy Huso is going to win $4.75 million for 3 years. Remember, they have cap, so they can spend some of this. They had to spend for sure. Moving on now to Mark Pysyk, who I believe is going to be starting the season on the IR. I don't know how long he's going to be out there, not saying. But he signed for $850K. He was with the Sabres last year. Played with some other teams through the years. Buffalo, Panthers, Dallas, Buffalo again. And now with the Red Wings. This is a good 7th defenseman, he can play wing also. As a forward, which is interesting. He's a defenseman, but also can play forward if you wanted to. 12 points this year in 68 games. Not bad. As a 7th defenseman. There you go. Good depth there. And then you have, I skipped. That's right. Oh, wait, never mind. I skipped before. Pysyk. But, alright, moving on now to Kubalik. Kubalik, a 2-year deal. Really good deal here for $2.5 million. Kubalik in his rookie season surprised a lot of people. He was in the finalists as a Calder Trophy winner. And this year, 32 points, but went 46 points in his Calder season as a rookie season, and I liked Kubalik. I was a big fan of him. This year, the Blackhawks are absolutely awful of a team, just terrible of a team. So, Kubalik playing on a different team, a team that is young, trying to learn, trying to score more. I think Kubalik could thrive for sure. And then Marco Kasper is the guy they drafted like 8th overall, something like that. They needed some center depth down the middle, some young drafted center, and they pick him up. Great pick. Last year he played in the SHL already. 46 games in the SHL. That is the top Swedish league already in his career, and that's pretty amazing. He was like 17. Usually 18, 19, 20, or even more than that. Even veterans can play there in the SHL. He already played, which is impressive to see. 11 points in 46 games, nothing whopping, amazing, at the moment. But, getting 11 points already in 46 games, that's not bad. And, Marco Kasper is a really good player, and hey, if he does make the team this year, playing in the SHL on the Grand Rapids Griffins, he is signed, so we'll see what happens. So that's your list. Pretty long list, isn't it? So let's move on to our young players that have potential to make an NHL spot. These guys are signed. These guys could get a chance to play most of the season, or just a little of the season, or just a couple games, to try them out, see how they really are. Starting off with Marco Kasper, we already talked about. Joe Veleno, he's going to get more of a chance. He needs to show more. He did show a little bit more last year. New coach, Dale Lerone. Be interesting how he does with him. So we'll see. And then you have Jonathan Bergman. He's another Swedish guy, very talented guy. Give him a chance in the preseason, see if he makes the team right out the gate. He could. There's a good possibility he could do that. Moving on to now Lindblom. Soderblom. Soderblom is 6'6". He's 6'6", 198 pounds. Could put a little bit more weight on there for his height. But Lindblom's a good player. I like this. He played for London, the SHL. 33 points, my bad, in 52 games. Soderblom could play. He could get some time to play. In 6'6", you can really notice him on the ice. Like, wow, there's Soderblom. Soderblom will be interesting. See how he does. And they have Simone Evertson, who you picked last draft in 2021. He is 6'4", 193 pounds. He's a good Swedish defenseman in the SHL. Another Swedish player. 19 points in 44 games and a plus 13. For a defenseman, for that is very commendable to see that. And they have Barton. And you look at Barton now. Seth Barton, who is 23 years old, a little bit older, so he could get a chance here. 6 points in 20 games. Played a little in the EHL. ECHL. So he could get a little chance. And Sembrano there. Let's see. He played in the Grand Rapids already. 7 points in 65 games. Mostly there. He's another guy who's 20, so he has a lot of chance to grow. Barton, you could see more of a chance for him. He's 23. Come on. Good for him. And then look at Sebastian Cossa, who I don't see him playing in the NHL this year. Just let him play in the Grand Rapids and the AHL for sure. That's where you want him to play. He played in the WHL last year in the Edmonton Oil Kings. He had a 227 goals against average, 913 save percentage in 46 games, and 19 games in the playoffs, a 193 goals against average and a 919 save percentage. Some solid stats there. So just let him play in the Grand Rapids next year. Yes, he's gonna play in preseason. I wouldn't doubt that he will for sure in the beginning. See how he does, but you don't play him. That's why you have Ville Husso and Alex Nedeljkovic as your goalie pairings. But right now, let Cossa take his time. He's only 20. Only 19. November 21st is his birthday. So, yeah. Cossa, we'll see how he does in the AHL, and, he's 19. Usually a goalie starts to really get it together around 23, 24. So he has some time to grow, but right now he's 19. He's going to already play in the AHL. That's good to see. He's growing, and he's already showing having this success. So the next level, from the WHL to the AHL, there's going to be a little bit of a difference there. He's going to get used to it, but hope for the best for him now. I'm just talking about now generally for the Red Wings' whole roster, not the new arrivals, not just the young players, but who do we got? Of course, we have Tyler Bertuzzi. He actually only has a year left on a deal, so they can't get anything together on a deal. He is a UFA at 27 years old for $4.75 million. Another deal just like that, like many on the team, He has had problems in negotiations with the Red Wings previously. If they can't get a deal done, if they can't get a contract deal done, they will have to deal him at the trade deadline. They're not going to risk him to just go to free agency for nothing. This team, if he doesn't do well, if he doesn't sign, they have to trade him to get something for him for sure. Not just yet. And you have Jacob Vrana, who missed most of the season last year to his shoulder, I believe that's what it was. 19 points in 26 games this year. Only 26 games, not enough. And then we got traded at the deadline the other year, before then. 11 games and 11 points before getting traded from the Capitals. So, Vrana, he's 26. He has a 2 more years left on his deal. It's disappointing that he didn't play more than 26 games, but he's healthy. He is ready to go this season. Ready to go. Looking at also Dylan Larkin, he's a UFA. He's 26. Does he want to stay with the Red Wings? You got to remember, interesting for Dylan Larkin, when this team went to a rebuild, Dylan Larkin only been to the playoffs once in his career, and that was his rookie season with the old Red Wings core with Pavel Datsyuk, Henrik Zettersberg, Jimmy Howard, that type of team. And he went to the playoffs once, and the Lightning beat them in 5 in the first round. So that was only the time he has ever been in the playoffs. Ever since then has been a rebuild. And that was 2016-2017 was the last year. And that was his rookie season. So there you go. So he's the captain. Does he want to stay here long term? Does he see the promise in this team? That's a possibility. Does he want to stay? We'll see. He's at $6.1 million. And he has a no trade clause now. So, he's 26. We'll see what he wants to do. If he just want to stay, obviously I could see them trade him and get some good stuff back. He's a centerman. He's a big centerman, a great goal scorer too. So they can get a boatload back for him. But if they can sign him, I think that's better to do that, showing where the progression is going. I would sign him. This is your guy. Move ahead with him. You want to make the playoffs? Sign him, keep him. But obviously, it's his choice if he wants to stay with the Red Wings or not. Philip Zadina, he's another guy interesting about him. Philip Zadina, 2018 draft pick and 6th overall. I thought Montreal was going to pick him 3, but they picked Jesperi Kotkaniemi. But 2 of those haven't worked out too much for Montreal. For Montreal and even the Red Wings, or even the Carolina Hurricanes, hasn't been the best. But maybe this year he will. I still think Kotkaniemi still be a good player, but Philip Zadina needs to show more. Only 24 points in 74 games. If you can get 30 to 40 points, get about 40 points, I think they'll be very happy with him. He's from he's from the Czech Republic. He's 22, but they really think he can do more at a 1.825. They just signed him for 3 years. He has 3 years to prove himself. Can you do something? If he doesn't do good, I'm sure a team will be out there and say, we'll give a chance to give him new surroundings. Lucas Raymond started out absolutely incredible as the rookie there, then kind of tailed off at the end. I think players or teams started to figure him out a little, but I think he's going to be a beast again next year, absolutely. Lucas Raymond is incredible. 57 points in 82 games. That is still an incredible season for Lucas Raymond. Rasmussen, who's big, in the bottom 6. That's a center. Sundqvist, bottom 6. Suter can play in the top 6-ish. Looking at defense, Philip Hronek on the right side. See how he does. I'm sure he'll be good there. Moritz Seider is your franchise defenseman, just like Raymond is your franchise winger, just as Larkin your franchise center, and just as future, hopefully, Simone Everton will also be a franchise defenseman for them too. And maybe Casper would be nice. Of course, those are suspects, not prospects. Not real NHL players just yet. Hopefully, the best for them. Lindstrom, he's a good shutdown defenseman. See how he does this year. We talked about the goaltending with Husso and Nedeljkovic. Maybe a little bit more of a splitting role. Maybe a couple more starts. More toward Husso than Nedeljkovic. We'll see that's possible. Robbie Fabry also is on the team. He's on the injured reserve, 30 points this year. Not bad. Last year, not bad. Let's see. Did I miss anyone? I don't think I did. I think that's everything about the team. So playoffs. Let's talk about playoffs. Do they make the playoffs? Who's in front of them who can say, hey, we're going to knock you out? A lot of teams can. But I'm going to say they're going to be right there. Second wild card spot. I believe it could be possible. Haven't made my final prediction of how things would go, but I will soon for another video. I would say the team is really good. They add a lot of veteran core. See how the goaltending does. I think they got it. I think the second wildcard spot could be a very good possibility and eyeing for it. I think they really want to do that. Or be super close to that. Not like 10 points away, like right in like the last week of trying to make it. Would be really nice. This has been a long rebuild for them. It's time to make the playoffs. Time to get better. New coach, Steve Yzerman has a good plan. So hopefully the best for the Red Wings. So see you next video.